Welcome back to Home Sweet Home Cooking. I am your host Rocky, as always in my mother's kitchen. My mom was going to have the day off. We are doing number 3 on the Southern Essentials cooking list. This was a list compiled of, where I asked a Southern cooking group on Facebook what their top 10 essential meals that every Southern cook should know. I compiled as many of the lists as I could, and I boiled down and took the top 20 off that list. There was probably 100 different items, but the top 20 stood out above and beyond. And the third one that they said you have to know how to cook if you're going to live in the South is greens. So, I have cooked greens before. I made squeaky, which is an native African dish from Kenya, I believe, that area. And it's greens with some tomato in it. So I've done something very similar to a Southern green. As a matter of fact, that's probably where the Southern greens came from, was the slaves back in the day cooked it as a food that they were familiar with, and that's how it became a Southern soul food, is my guess. So, Southern collard greens today is what I'm going to do. Number 3, on 3, I can't do 3 on my left hand for some reason. In the bath to clean your greens, the cold water, you half a cup of distilled white vinegar, and 3 tablespoons of salt. Cold water. Now to get your greens apart, you want to use the leaf, not the stem. So I've got 2 bunches. That's what a bunch looks like. And about 2 days ago, so they're a little bit wilted. Basically what you can do is you're just going to take the leaf and fold it back upon itself and strip it off of the stem. You throw the stem away. Now you can cook these and cook them really good. You probably put them in the broth and the neck bones and get them softened up, and they can go back in if you want, or you can just leave them be. But that's what you do. Again, you just snap them off of the runners and strip it, and where it comes off, it comes off. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of these and get them in the water. I'm going to rustle them around, clean them off, and if there's any spots on there, I'm going to rub the leaves together and scrub it off. I'm going to rinse it, drain it, rinse it, drain it until the water is clear afterwards. Alright, I looked up, my greens were pretty clean, so I didn't have to do too much washing on them. As you can see, there's no sediment, no dirt down in the water. The water is now clean, so these are clean enough and they are ready to go. Okay, in the pot I've got 1 tablespoon of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to let that get hot. Once that's hot, just a little more. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of diced onion. I'm going to saute that until the onion is softened. Don't really want it brown, you just want to soften it, get it a little bit translucent. So I'll be right back. Now they're softening up, starting to become translucent. I want to get to them before they start browning. You don't have to use olive oil if you want. You could just throw in some bacon in here and fry this up in the bacon fat that comes out, which is fine. If you don't want to use a pork or turkey, you can use smoked turkey wing, smoked turkey drumstick, the smoked ham hocks, smoked pork neck bones like I have, or smoked bacon. So you want that smoky meatiness of it, so if you want to use just bacon in here, you could fry that off with the onions. To this, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, and the recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flake. I'm using a whole teaspoon because I like mine well seasoned. Going to stir that in until it's fragrant. Doesn't take long. And I can smell it already. So now you're going to add 4 to 5 cups of chicken broth and your smoked meat. And now you want to bring that up to a boil, which looks like it's already going to be at a boil. Alright, got it down to a simmer. Time to add my greens. you want to do is when you add them, you're just going to rip them up into bite-sized pieces. Or you can cut them up on a chopping board, it doesn't matter. Whatever works best for you. I got the time, so I'm going to make them rustic and just rip them in half or rip them into pieces. And get it covered, and you're going to cook them for about an hour, stirring occasionally. At that point, you're going to check for seasoning, so I'll be back when it's time to check to see if I need any more seasoning. Alright, so it's cooked about an hour. I pulled the smoke neck bones out and I pulled the meat off, diced it up, put it back in. I did check for seasonings. I added a tablespoon of vinegar and some salt and some fresh cracked black pepper, and I let it go for a little bit more. But you can see that pot was overflowing with greens, and now it cooked down to maybe a quarter of what I started with. But that is your southern greens. At least that's what it's supposed to look like. So I'm going to get this off into a bowl and I'm going to give it a try. And now's the time for the taste test.
And I don't know if I want to be here.
No, I'm not going to say she's going to like these. She probably won't. These are a bold choice for a Yankee to try. I was a Yankee, but I do like this. I mean, I've become a southerner over the last 20 plus years that I've lived down here. I do love the cuisines, the flavors, even to the point I'm beginning to love some of the culture. I know I don't like SEC football, so I can never be a true part of the South. But I do like the cuisine. And if you want to, you can salt and pepper these more on the table if you want. Go ahead and grab some.
Do I have to?
Yeah, you don't have to.
No, I'll try.
One of the popular toppings is pepper sauce, which is vinegar with peppers just soaked in it, and it gives the vinegar a peppery flavor. That's as good as any green I've ever had in a restaurant, or even in somebody's house.
It's edible, so that's a rave review
For her,
me.
yeah. But I do like I say, I like bold flavors. Take a piece of that meat though. Try that.
That's good.
That's good. Now the other part, when you're making this, you don't want to have it too dry because you want that liquid at the bottom. That's called pot liquor, and I'm a pot liquor. Oh man, that's good. Love that. Very, very spicy though. I put in, like I say, twice as much of the crushed red pepper flake as it called for, because I like mine. I know I like mine spicy. If I had the pepper vinegar, I would have put a lot of that on it because I love that boldness. Or to put crushed red pepper on it. So I just went ahead and put extra in mine, and I know she could handle it.
That's the part I like.
Yeah. But this is as good as any greens I've ever had. They're easy to do. It just takes a while to sit them down. You got to clean them. You know, a little time consuming, but it's not hard.
Let's put it this way. I wouldn't order it in a restaurant. However, if I came to your house and you put them in front of me, I could eat them.
Yeah. That's how I first began eating them, is they were on my plate when somebody passed me some food and I ate them. And at first I wasn't thrilled by them. I'm still not thrilled by them. I'm coming to the point that I do like it, and I have cooked these. I don't really like them out of the can, except for there's one out there that comes pre-spiced to Margaret or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. And I don't really mind those out of the can, the seasoned greens.
Margarita.
Something like that. Margaretti. But I like that out of the can. But most of the time, I like the fresh stuff. It's good for you. It's a good healthy green. A lot of antioxidants and all those vitamins and minerals. So it's healthy for you. They grow easy down here in the south. So I can see why
they sure do.
Yeah. So I will definitely give this a pass because, like I say, it's as good as any other that I've had anywhere else.
Yeah, it's the best I've ever had.
Yeah, the best she's ever had. So number 3 on the Southern Essentials cook list is greens. I did collard. You can make turnip, you can make mustard, you can do mixed greens, whatever you want. But it's still number 3. Learn how to make them if you want to be a Southern cook, because they're kind of expected down here in the South. So thank you for watching. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe and help this video grow, or the channel grow. Have a great day.